Aliens, robots, ninjas, and an ending that will blow your mind are just some of the crazy things I encountered after playing 200 Days of Punch Club. This is a sequel to my first video, 100 Days of Punch Club. You can watch that one first if you want, otherwise, grab a snack and get comfortable, because you're in for a story of love, revenge, and a series of crazy plot twists you could never imagine. This is 200 Days of Punch Club. During the first 100 days, I went from an average nobody to one of the strongest fighters in the city, while searching for the man who murdered my father. But just when I thought I was getting close, my best friend was killed right before my eyes. My family's medallion was stolen, and the killer escaped to Russia. There was only one thing left for me to do: follow him, get my revenge, and take back what belonged to my family. On day 100, I defeated a giant bear to prove I was ready for the fight ahead. But I needed more strength, more power, so I spent days 101 and 102 training, and finally, I was ready. Ivangiv had massive health, higher stats, better perks, everything seemed to be in his favor. But there is no motivation like revenge. I started the fight receiving a few hits, but I then managed to connect a combo that knocked Ivangiv down, depleting his energy and giving me a chance to recover. This was crucial because his energy regeneration between rounds was of almost 100%. Had I not managed to knock him down, I would now be sitting at 20 energy versus his almost full bar. But fortune was on my side this time, and in the second round, I managed to defeat him before he could even react. With this victory, I avenged my friend and recovered the medallion, but things were just getting started. I still needed to avenge my cat and find my father's killer. I flew back home and visited Mick's office. He read about my win in the newspaper, and while I was away, he managed to track down my brother, who was no other than the masked man organizing the underground fights. Hello, brother. Ugh, you finally realize, huh? Well, know this. I hate you with everything I can muster. You're the reason father is dead. If you had been faster that night, we could have escaped and father would still be alive. We were kids. Father chose to sacrifice his life for us, and now we should work together to find his killer. No, I'll do it myself, and I know exactly where to find the killer. I will become the Ultimate League champion and will be invited to the Mystery Island. I'll get my invitation too. See you on the island. I needed to be amongst the best of the best if I wanted that invitation. But not only that, I also needed to be popular if I wanted the Man in Black to notice me. Luckily, Mick knew someone who could help me. His name was Ding Kong, a millionaire looking for a fresh start. I went to his mansion where he was waiting for me. Welcome, Mick told me about you, come closer. I am Ding Kong. I am the guy who makes champions out of weaklings like you. Now, show me your biceps. Whoa, chill. I'm not impressed, but hey, I like a challenge. I've seen records of your fights, and my friends from Russia put in a good word for you. That's good. People love stories of wasters rising to the top. But I am not a... Your articulation is poor. It's better if you keep silent. Now, I think we've discussed everything we need. Sign here, here, and here. And so, Ding Kong became my manager and offered me a chef, a room, and a built-in gym to get ready to become the world champion. Becoming a real fighter came with different responsibilities. Rather than having scheduled fights and a normal job, I now needed to get enough fame to be able to organize fights and climb up the ranks. To do so, I had 3 different options. First, I could shoot a movie. This was a series of fights, and the further I could make it without losing, the more I would gain. But getting knocked out meant losing everything. Second, I could throw a party. This was expensive, but gave me fame in exchange. And finally, I could do advertisements, which cost fame, but paid really well. I decided to start by buying an upgrade called Show Off, which increased my fame income. And then I threw my first party. Partying was great and all, and it got me like 180 fame, but it depleted my energy faster than anything else in the entire game. So after a quick nap, I decided to try shooting a movie instead. For this first movie, I needed to beat 6 aliens in a row if I wanted the big prize. The first one was easy. His attacks were weak, and he had no dodging abilities, my natural counter, so I beat him without taking any damage. The second one was also easy. His skills sucked, and even though he managed to hit me once, he was soon knocked out. I decided to test my luck and see how far I could make it, so I continued fighting. The third alien was a bit stronger. Even though his build sucked, a mix of high agility and RNG let him take half of my health. The fourth alien was weak once again. With an agility build but almost no damage, even though he managed to last a full round, he could barely hurt me at all. Despite this, I decided not to risk it anymore. I didn't know what kind of builds the last two fighters would have, and I didn't want to get soft-locked by losing all my money and having to go back to delivering pizza. So I claimed my reward, which gave me enough fame for the first fight, and then went to the basement to check the gym. It was the best equipment I had seen so far, with everything you could find at Silver's gym, as well as a pull-up bar, which was really useful for training agility and stamina at the same time. I spent all day training, as well as most of the next day, and once I managed to get my strength back to 14, I decided to fight. My opponent was Modern Mike, and as you can see here, he was strong. Way stronger than anyone I had fought so far, including even Give. But in this game, it doesn't matter how strong you are if you have no energy. And even though he managed to lower my health quite a bit, he soon ran out of energy and could only block as I slowly lowered his health to 0, getting me the first victory and one step closer to the island. I then bought a few upgrades from Dawn to increase my fame and money income, and shot my first advertisement. Just like every other job, this drained my hunger, energy, and stamina, but it paid $900, so it was worth it. After this, I decided to buy some more upgrades to progress even faster, but I accidentally did exactly what I said I wanted to avoid. I spent all my money and fame and couldn't afford a party or advertisement anymore. So instead, I trained for 2 more days and then went to deliver pizza, which was shameful, but better than waiting for weeks until I saved enough money with my daily pay to be able to throw another party. When I was about to get back to the mansion, I noticed that Roy's house was still on the map, so I decided to head there, where I found Adrian. She says she had been really worried about me waiting for my return, and I offered her to move with me, which she accepted. So together, we went back to the mansion where I trained for hours. But no matter what I did, I just couldn't fight the stat decay. So I decided to throw a party instead, and with some of the fame I gained, I recorded an advertisement to get some extra money. After this, I was gonna go to Apu's store to buy energy drinks, when I remember about Mac's rants. Since I was not a professional fighter, he decided to help me. The only problem was that he no longer owned a power armor, and he couldn't build one from scratch. So instead, he suggested I stole the parts from Dawn's secret lab. The structure was similar to the movies. I needed to win 6 fights in a row if I wanted a 100% chance of getting a piece of power armor, with 2 wins giving me a 20% chance and 4 wins giving me a 50% chance. My first opponent was T795. He managed to hit me a few times, but overall wasn't really a challenge. The next fight was against T796, who was slightly more powerful but still not a problem, especially since my build countered his. But on my third fight, I had to fight T797, this Robocop looking dude, and his build was the perfect counter for mine. His attacks were ridiculously weak, but he could dodge most of my moves, which made me waste a huge amount of energy. So he could keep punishing me time and time again, until he finally knocked me out towards the end of the second round. This of course meant that I got no rewards at all, not money, not skill points, and of course, not a power armor piece. I decided to shoot a move instead to at least gain some skill points and maybe unlock a cool move, only to find myself knocked out in the 4th combat, which I had previously cleared. The stat decay was just too big. Even if I trained all day and ate only the free food provided by Ding Kong, my daily gain was of maybe 10% for each stat. And this was while completely ignoring other things like partying or advertisements. It was just impossible to keep up. I tried again against the robots, clearing the first 2 combats just like I did last time, which meant it was time for T797 again. Okay, second one, easy. And now this dude. I guess this is it. Okay. 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 One more. Finally. I think I can take one more. I have almost full health. Unfortunately, I could not take one more, because the next robot also had an agility build, and even though I started pretty strong, I messed up by using block instead of skip attacks, meaning I had no energy regeneration, and he just kept dodging my attacks and draining my energy until I couldn't do anything. This was gonna be a problem. I couldn't stop after just 2 fights because a 20% chance of getting a piece of armor was just as good as a 0% chance. Everyone knows that anything below 50% is 0. And also, anything between 50% and 99 is 50-50, so I needed a way to beat every single robot and get a 100% chance. The first step was completing the film to get skill points. I don't know how or why, but this time I managed to beat the first 4 aliens with ease. Then the 5th alien showed up, and while not as high as the robots, his build also focused on agility, which could have been a problem. But he decided to be nice and take my attacks without any attempt to dodge or counter, so I could finally fight alien number 6, a xenomorph. This victory gave me $1,500, 350 fame, and most importantly, 25 skill points. I then spent 2 days throwing parties and recording ads to get enough fame to face the next fighter, and on day 120, I finally did it. Yo Bruce, what are you doing here? My rival was no other than Mighty Bruce, and of course, he had an agility build, my natural counter. But for some reason, letting my stats drop seemed to make me stronger in this game, because while I'm sure I would have lost when I had 14 in strength and 10 in the others, I managed to defeat him this time with just 13, 8, and 8. I then threw 2 parties in a row and trained just enough to counter the decay, and on day 121, I went to buy a strength potion and decided to try again against the robots, only to lose over half of my health to the first one, which I had previously obliterated. At this point, I was both lost and frustrated. The more I trained, the weaker I felt, but not training also made me feel weak. If I got too strong, I consumed too much energy. If I increased my stamina, I missed every attack. And the game said that with a strength build, I should not go for agility, advice that I was still following for some reason I cannot understand in retrospect. Feeling completely lost, I walk around the city talking to the different NPCs, thinking that maybe one of them could give me a hint, or maybe even some skill points or something. Unfortunately, none of them seemed to have any new dialogue or interactions. I tried with Apu, Silver, Meek, Don, and even the guys at the trailer park, but it seemed like that was it. All I had to do, or rather all I could do, was train and fight until I eventually got my victory. On day 123, I fought Rio, yet another guy with a pure agility build. I started the combat with a few hits, which made me think I stood a chance, but as soon as he managed to dodge, my energy dropped to 0 while he's recovered, and he ended up winning. I trained even more, and then tried to fight the robots again. I'll be honest, I almost quit the game here. I had managed to lower his health to 18 and his energy to 23, only to get knocked down time and time again. For round 2, I decided to use the exact same moves because I had recovered half of my energy and literally any random punch would have knocked him out. But no, my character decided to sit there, contemplating or something, I don't know, and ended up losing after trying only 1 attack in the entire round. I was mad. There was no way to give my stats higher than they already were, and all my rivals had high agility, which was disgusting. Like, how could they deal the same damage as me with every punch, while also dodging everything and missing none? Here, I spent a few days feeling completely lost. My routine was always the same: training, a few sparring sessions with Silver, throwing a party or recording an advertisement here and there. I just didn't know what to do. Once my fame was high enough again, I tried to fight Rio, but of course, with the exact same stats and the exact same build, I got the exact same result: defeat. On day 128, I went back to fight the robots. 5 days had passed and I had managed to raise my strength and stamina by 1, which was still not enough, and I was of course defeated by T797. Here, I finally decided to start trying new things. I stopped trying to keep my agility high and decided to focus on winning my fights with really few but really powerful hits. After raising my strength to level 15 and buying a potion to get it to level 17, I went back to face the robots. The result? Defeat. This obviously meant that I needed to iterate again. The strength only build was cool and all, if I could hit my opponents, but it was useless as soon as they dodged more than once per combat, which completely depleted my energy. It would unfortunately take me quite a while to try something new, instead of trying to brute force my way through the game. I went home and shot a movie to get some extra skill points. Since I had already defeated the aliens, this time I had to fight a bunch of parrots. Not pirates, parrots. Thankfully, most of them were extremely weak, and even though Parrot 4 managed to hurt me quite a bit with his agility build, I still managed to win every fight and claim the big prize. $1,500, 25 skill points, and 400 fame. For a game where everything is a reference to pop culture, not being able to fight Luffy or Shanks was quite disappointing, but it is what it is, I guess. After this, I threw another party and trained for a bit, but because of the strength potion, the decay was even greater than usual, so all efforts were useless in the end. The only way I could get unstuck was through new skills, because my stats were just not going up. I tried fighting Rio again. This time, I had dropped some agility points for extra stamina, since that's what the game recommended, and I tried slightly different skills that let me save energy. But this was still not enough, because even though I wasn't getting knocked down as often as before, I was somehow losing health from missing my attacks. So even though Rio himself was quite weak, I was just losing by punching air and taking damage from it, landing only 2 hits after 2 full rounds. Next day, I went back to Silver's to get more skill points, which I used to unlock Hard Block, a defensive move that damaged the attacker by 30% of their potential damage. I trained for a full day, and by the end of it, I lost 3 full points in strength, and barely maintained my stamina and agility. Lovely stat decay. For some reason, I tried to fight Rio again, even though my stats were worse this time, and in my frustration, I completely forgot to change the block for the new one I had just unlocked. I think I may have stood a chance had I remembered, but the thing is, I didn't, so I didn't stand a chance. I then spent 2 more days just trying to keep my stats as they were, and started exploring the skill tree to find a way to beat Rio and the robots. Okay, what have we got here? Let's see. Replaces high punch, series of strikes dealing a fair amount of damage and increasing the accuracy of follow-up strikes. But the accuracy itself is really low though. This one's for dodging, no. Recam, strike modifier. If active, all your strike that meets the target only cost half energy. That was the one. My chance to finally beat the game. But in order to unlock it, I needed 50 skill points and I only had 15. So I decided to try something new. Instead of buying a strength potion, I bought an agility one and went to Dawn's Lair. I was fully expecting to lose again, but then... Fight 1. Victory. No surprises there. Fight 2. Victory without a single scratch. Not bad. Fight 3. The real challenge. Absolute fucking domination. The 4th fight was slightly harder, and he managed to lower my health quite a bit, but I decided to keep going. T799 was my 5th opponent, and of course, I defeated him. And the final robot was of course... T799B. Skinny Ultron over here was literally weaker than all the previous robots, and he was defeated without even managing to hit me once. With this victory, I managed to get 15 skill points and the bottom part of my armor, which meant there were only 3 more to go. I went back to the mansion, where I gave Adrian a present so I could fall in love again, to focus on training since I wanted to keep my agility at 10 without potions, and hopefully even higher. On day 139, I had enough fame to fight again, so I decided to taste my luck before the potion effect ran out. After all, I managed to beat all 6 robots with these stats, so Rio should be an easy win. But for some reason, I decided to remove my block, thinking that he will deal no damage with 3 strength, and I tried to focus on dealing as much damage as possible with only attacks and strike modifiers. By the end of the first round, I had almost no health and energy while he was just chilling, and in the second round, I was knocked out, of course. I kept training non-stop, trying to maintain my agility as high as possible, but once the magic potion effect ran out, I received a new effect, Magic Fever, which made me get tired and hungry faster, making being in love completely useless. Despite this, I managed to train enough to maintain my 10 points in agility, and on day 142, I went to fight the robots again. I unfortunately forgot about my amazing hard block move, so I ate shit against Robocop again. The only reason I went to fight the robots in the first place was to get skill points, and since that plan failed, I decided to go the easy route and sparred against poor Silver again. I swear he seemed so strong the first time I met him, but I'm starting to feel bad for him. After defeating him, I decided to go shoot a movie, thinking I would fight the pirates again, which would have been easy. Unfortunately, the third movie was about ninjas, and as everybody knows, ninjas are all about agility. This, mixed with the fact that I only had around 10% of my health, meant that I was defeated by the very first ninja. Disgraceful, I know. Once again, agility managed to defeat me. Next day I trained a bit, and then fought Silver for the 3 points, after which I tried to fight the robots again, this time remembering to change my skills. And just like that, I got my second part of the armor. I then went to Chinatown since these fights left me completely demolished, and after a quick nap and an even quicker meal, I went to the basement to train for a bit. It seemed like these stats were enough to get my power armor, so if I could maintain them, all should be good. I tried to fight the ninjas again, this time at full health, and even though it went much better than before, I ended up quitting after the 4th fight with a reward of $700, 400 fame, and 15 skill points. And that's when I realized that even before the fight, I already had enough skill points to finally buy Reckham, my best chance to defeat all these agility-based builds. I bought some vodka for the Drunk Master to heal me again, and I went to test my new skill against the robots. The first fight went great as always, with my energy never dropping below 80. During the second fight, I lost a bit more, but still kept it over 50%. But on the third fight, due to no longer having a block move, I lost too much health, and the same happened during the 4th fight, when I decided to leave and take my 50% chance of getting a piece of armor. Unfortunately, as I already said, if you don't have a 100% chance, you ain't getting it, and I returned to the ranch with empty hands. I decided to try again, visit to Chinatown, training enough to keep my stats, and in less than 2 days, I was back at Dawn's lair fighting the robots. This time, the first robot somehow managed to hurt me quite a bit, but I then managed to defeat the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and even the 5th robot. After the 5th fight, I only had 16 health left, and for the first time, I decided to back off instead of risking everything, taking the 50% chance over the 0% I would get if I tried to fight Ultron again. And thankfully, this time I did it. I got the helmet that completed the armor. Now, I just needed the core to power it, and I would be able to avenge my cat. I tried fighting Rio again, this time with a different skill set composed of a single strike and 4 modifiers, hoping to overpower him with a few punches. But because of his stupid attack that poisoned me, dealing extra damage every time I attacked, I was almost knocked down after a single round. And of course, completely out in the second. After this, I trained some more and got ready to fight the robots again. I would have actually lost because my agility had dropped to 9, but to my surprise, the robots were no longer there. Instead, I found this. What the? Dawn? I was not expecting that, not gonna lie. Dawn himself was there, ready to stop me, which was really stupid because while he was strong, he didn't have an agility build, the only thing that could stop me, so he got knocked out quite easily. With the power armor ready, I headed to the underwater base of the evil genius, prepared to avenge Fluffy, my cat. Ultra power was waiting for me, but this time we were equal. Equal? Hell no. This time I was better. I then got ready to fight Blood Power, who was a bit stronger with extra points in agility, but still shit compared to Rio and even compared to T797. So while he managed to dodge a few attacks at first, As soon as I landed one, I dealt almost 1/4 of his health, and with a few more hits, he was down. So it was finally time for my revenge. Except, not exactly. Fluffy? My goodness, I do hate that name. Yes, you finally worked it out. Bravo. It is I, the evil genius. And honestly, it's pretty humiliating to be beaten by someone like you. But you're dead. You're just a cat. How can you... Congratulations, you're correct. I am a cat. But thanks to that goddamn medallion, my life will never be the same. When I was a kitten and lived with Meek, I liked to play with the medallion. As it's quite apparent now, it changed me. I first met you when you were a teenager, and Meek had lost the bloody medallion. I knew that one day you would find it again. But I couldn't live without my precious, so I settled down at your place and waited. In the meantime, a great burden built up inside me and made me want to cause trouble. I saw you bring yourself snacks and fresh meat every day, but you never thought about me. Do you realize you never fed me? Not once. Not during this entire 10 years. So I had to steal food. Bit by bit, I built my evil empire and prepared my revenge against you. Revenge became my ultimate goal. It drove me onwards. The medallion, all your stupid possessions, you're such moronic humans. And yet, you still managed to upset my plans when I left my control suitcase in your kitchen. I even had to fake my own death, just to give me more time to plan everything. Haha meow, and now, my plan has finally come to fruition. You can't stop me now. Bad Fluffy. Bad kitty. I never want to see you building underground bases and nuclear bombs again. Do you hear me? Turns out Fluffy is kind of a douche. Yeah, that's a bit of an understatement, but yeah. Imagine being an evil genius and ending like this. I would end it all, not gonna lie. And remember, Fluffy, one more crime and snip, it's castration for you. And just like that, my second life as the Dark Fist came to an end. It was time to hang my boots and focus on finding my father's killer. But to do that, I needed to beat Rio. So I trained and fought Silver and trained even more. I didn't know what else I could unlock, but I wanted more skill points to hopefully stand a chance. Maybe there was a hidden move, something I had missed before that could finally give me the victory. I decided to fight the ninjas again. The first time they defeated me in a single round, and the next time in the fourth. But surely this time I was ready to win. Yeah, no, I had to leave after 2 rounds. I trained for 2 more days, and on day 150, I decided to fight Rio again. Not because I actually thought I stood a chance, but rather out of habit. I don't know, I'm pretty sure my stats are the same as last time, so it's not like I stood a chance, but I just wanna get to bed. Yeah, as always. Can he just stop dodging? Just... Oh? More? More? Hit him? Yes! Who's running out of energy now, huh? Okay, one more. One more. Just one. Let's fucking go. Finally. Rio was finally down, but I still needed more fame for the next combat. So the next day, I decided to fight the ninjas yet again. This time the first 3 combats were quite easy, but the 4th ninja made me quit early. I don't know what they have, but they deal damage when I miss. Fucking bullshit. Huh? He doesn't even have that. Why am I receiving random damage? Hit him? Hit him? Hit him? Come on? No! Oof. That was too close. With the fame I got from this, I could finally fight my next opponent, Kin. He was strong, really strong, with more than twice my resistance, almost twice as much health, and tons of energy regeneration. At this point, I really thought I was about to get softlocked yet again, but then a miracle happened. I kept visiting random locations to see if maybe new quests were available, but there was nothing new to see. All I could do was train and fight. I spent 3 days training until I got my agility to level 11 when I decided to fight the ninjas again. And this single point made all the difference. First fight, perfect. Second fight, 9 damage, almost none. The third fight was usually one of the hardest, and while he managed to hit me a few times, his damage was just laughable. The fourth fight, my previous limit, was also quite easy, so I decided to keep going. The fifth ninja was even weaker, and didn't even manage to hit me once, although I received 5 damage from I don't know what. And finally, the sixth ninja, yet another weakling. One thing I really hate about this game is how the third and fourth fights are always harder. I know this game is now 10 years or whatever, but please come back and flip their positions. This is horrible. With the skill points that I got from this combat, I bought good sneakers too, which gave me an extra 15% stamina from training, and I decided to train it up to level 13. After a few days, I finally did it, and I decided to go to the final fight, thinking it would be impossible. My opponent was Cool Kogan, and he was one of the weakest people I had fought in many days. After claiming the first spot, all I needed to do was wait for the invitation to the island. You've proven yourself a great warrior. Are you ready for the final challenge? I bring you the invitation. And I accept your invitation. Oh, that's a really cool boat. Welcome to my island. You're here to prove who's the best fighter. There can only be one. And it will be me. I'm ready to prove you wrong. Then let the fight begin. Brother does not have a name. He's not relevant whatsoever. Oh, and brother is weak. He's not even trying. You're exactly as I imagined, a true champion. All of this doesn't matter. You killed our father, and now it's time for revenge. First let me tell you a story. There were 2 little brothers. Their father loved them very much, so he gave them 2 parts of a mighty medallion. The 2 parts of the medallion started to work differently. One of them was becoming corrupted, but nobody noticed it. At first, the 2 brothers were equally powerful. Time passed, and one brother was becoming much stronger. That was me, obviously. He started to lose all kindness in his heart. That same night, he lost the last bit of his humanity. He killed his brother and took the other part of the medallion. He had the entire city to his feet, and he destroyed it. His father and his father's friends stood together to stop him. After a furious fight, they won, but he lost everything: his sons, his friends, and his city. He only had the medallion. He decided to destroy it in order to fix everything. I know you'll never listen to me. Death is the only choice you have. I am your father. What? That's the ending? No, but if that's my father... Okay, hear me out. If that's the father, and he went back in time and killed himself, how did he grow older in order to travel back in time and kill himself in the first place, you know? Like if he killed himself in his 30s, he can't be alive in his 50s, no? Also, he betrayed his friend. Like his friend is in fucking jail. because he planted his own friend's fingerprints. This dude is an asshole. What an ending. Not a good one, but definitely an ending. And just like that, I beat Punch Club in hardcore mode in under 200 days, unlocking 39 out of the 47 achievements in the process. But if you want to see me completing 100% of it, stay tuned, because that's coming soon.